Michael Hernandez here, MLH Media, once again here for MLH Media Uncensored, here with Skyshun the Limit Jones over there, Bay Area, California. How you doing today, my brother?
Doing good, can't complain. Another day, just another day in the life.
Hey, funny enough, I was actually just getting to speak with your, I would kind of say your mentor over there, El Jefe, as they like to call him, Gilbert Melendez. He was getting to speak to about a couple of guys, a couple of prospects that he's really been keeping an eye on. And you were one of those gentlemen that he mentioned and kind of said, hey, I know he's been a little bit more on the underneaths. You've been kind of kept under the covers, so to speak. But you have a 4-0 MMA record now. Amateurs, you've been able to definitely go out there and perform against some of the top talent. And mind you, I kind of found it interesting with this last fight, and this is part of the question as well. Was there a big reason for wanting to make that quick jump in competition to go against a guy like Moses Gomez, who had so many fights already on his record?
It's like this game, the more you understand it, I'm lucky to have the people in my corner that I do. I get a lot of game, I get a lot of backstory. This game don't have a blueprint, but you can always take bits and pieces from everybody. And some from our faction of just everybody, I feel like that we come in with the mentality that, we're going to take the fights that we need to take, and we're going to take the risks that we need to take in order to keep leveling up, keep moving up. So I wasn't, you could ask Gil, when the fight was announced to me, I was ready for everything because it's just like, you got to be ready. I'm on a big stage. I get to showcase why I'm here. And I've been telling people that since I started. I want to show why I'm here, why I'm worth the money, why I'm worth the eyes, is because I come out here and I proceed to do ninja shit. So
You were able to throw out one of the most interesting kind of sequences of strikes that was put on display that whole entire night. Gil had it spoke it best. He said that sweet chain music, you were kind of able to tap into your inner Shawn Michaels. Can you go into, is that something that is just constantly being trained at in the gym, that kind of that spontaneous type of flow? Because I feel like there's a lot of guys out there that don't really have that when it comes to fighting, because that's something that definitely is a lot more of a natural take. It's not something you can truly train in the gym. It's something that kind of just comes out of you, and it came out of the limit come the first fight night at the Tech.
it's kind of like crazy because, in the gym, you just sometimes you try different techniques, you do different things that, in a fight you might not be able to use, but I have a lot of tricks in my back pocket, and I had the ability to um, take notice to the tendencies that he was bringing forth in the fight, and I would notice in between pauses he would wait for me, and he would take that opportunity to go for his shots. So I have great Muay Thai teachers. My coach BB, at the time I was working with Coach An, two respectable Muay Thai fighters, trainers. Just we got a good stable of people. And what I remembered that whole time, even when I was in the back, I remember, all right, don't just give them one thing. You got to show them several things, and it's gonna open up your whole game. And yeah, that happened like the first 30 seconds of the fight, and I think it set the tone. So I don't come to play, I come to fight, and you know, I think that's our whole mentality. If you're not coming to fight, you're in the wrong sport, buddy. You know.
You definitely are part of that. I was talking with Gil about it yesterday on that call, and it's just that new wave of kind of Bay Area fighters where you guys are really just, game to kind of take anyone on anywhere. And doesn't really, you guys aren't looking at this how I often compare an MMA where you have guys that are kind of easing their way in. They're taking the easiest fights that they can to try and basically taking the shortcut route. And you guys do not believe in that over there in the Bay Area, over there with the Skrap Pack team. Can you kind of go into the origins of joining over there and really truly your MMA base? Because I think that's what maybe a lot of fans would possibly be interested in this call here today, is to hear a little bit more about how the limit got to this level and got to possibly looming and looking at a professional start here possibly in 2025 if you keep on this great trajectory here in your amateur career.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. So they call me a grappler, but I like to strike. I like to keep the fight standing. I like to keep, you know, at least me in there. That's where I get the enjoyment. I love grappling. I started with grappling. Um, I started training at 10th Planet Oakland under Michael Hillibrand. He's Denny Prohaska's black belt. He trained under him, and I trained, and it was right after pandemic, so I was just like trying to find something to do, in the sense of like, okay, I know I'm a competitor, I know I have something to offer, and I want to go out there and test myself. And I called Michael, and I was like, it was craziest shit ever. Like, I just called him. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a jiu-jitsu gym, and I'm trying to be a UFC world champion. Can I come here? Like, what do y'all offer? And I come in, I do jujitsu, I get promoted to blue belt in 8 months, and I built the base. I know it was important, and I'll tell anybody that comes into the sport, I feel like jujitsu should be a starting base, because before you can handle the stand-up war, you got to be able to handle the ground, or else you're an incomplete fighter. And I think with MMA, it's in the name. You a mixed martial artist. I do everything. I don't care about, oh, I'm better at this, better at that. Everybody, I always get those questions like, what do you like? Train everything, because that's important. So started training. Then Mike goes way back, because this is way before me. Like, this has been like decades of people having connections and people training together. So he opened up the door to me, because he used to train with Gil, and he contacted him and said, oh, we got this. I have this guy. He has potential. He's a hard worker. He does what he needs to do, and he trying to be an MMA fighter. So my introduction into MMA is, I get 30-minute roll time with Jake Shields and get demolished the whole time. So, and I'm just crazy, because I'm like, okay, it happened, but I keep coming back. So there's like a point where it's like, I'm doing this, because I think that a lot of people forget that too. Like, fighters are human, and we got to have the ability to like understand why we're doing what we're doing, just like anybody else. You got to make a purpose of it. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean to you? And it's been like that ever since I started. I got multiple opportunities to like learn, just get knowledge from everybody. And then after that, I start training with Gil, and I start, training with Hyder Emil, the Hurricane. I start training with all the guys over at El Nino, and you know, it teach you, with us, you have to earn your keep. You have to show them that you're dedicated. It's not like a place where you could just like, everybody is welcome. Don't get me wrong. But and I feel like, and that's for everybody in this sport, because at the end of the day, you fighting to prove that what you say is not just some baloney, and show that you're the best fighter, you know?
Oh no, you're good. I was going to bring up. There's so much to unpack from that question. I mean, down from the connection with Danny Prokopos over there. I know he's obviously one of the first 10th Planet black belts underneath Eddie Bravo over there out of the 10th Planet system, and then you obviously got Gilbert Melendez. Obviously, huge connection over there to be able to connect with your coach Hildebrandt from 10th Planet Oakland, and then now being able to relay it all back. But I caught a little bit of the fact that you got to roll with Mr. Jake Shields, the king of no gi, and somebody that's obviously a huge partner in terms of getting the Skrap Pack going and just getting Gil into MMA. How was that to get to roll with? I mean, a MMA legend, but I would say a no gi and a jiu-jitsu legend as well.
It was surreal, because I always been a fan of MMA. I've always known to fight, and I grew up watching fights. Me and my dad, that was like our bonding experience. We used to play like UFC 3 all the time, and he would pick Rashad Evans, and I would pick Shogun Rua, and I used to whoop him all the time. And so I've always known about fighting. So to be able to come into the game and just like have like really somebody that's a decorated like living legend, that's important to me because I didn't get into this sport to be with just like you strive for the best. So I didn't come into this game to like I want the legends to be at my table because one day I want to be regarded as somebody in my own right, in your own right. I think everybody, a lot of fighters are legends. It's just some people know and some people don't know, you know? So it's like it's two sides to everything. Like, then you start going deeper and like going back in the day, like you got fighters like Crazy Horse. You got all these fighters from Pride. Like you talk about Fedor nowadays, you talk about Mirko Krokop, you talk about all the guys from like UFC 1. You got to do your research. You can't just get into this sport. And of course, it's like, as a fan, you want to know the now. But I feel like, especially with mixed martial arts, because mixed martial arts is a lineage, you got to look back and pay respects to the people that came before you because they did it when wasn't nothing being offered. They just did
Yeah.
it. So now it's our purpose as the new generation to go out here and actually fight. Show and I want the respect of the people that came before me. So I'm gonna go out there and fight my heart out. Keep kicking dudes in the face. That's what it is.
And you're over there now fighting at the Tech 2, being able to perform in that ring again. And much like how you were mentioning with those kind of pride roots, you got the ring, you got the whole dark energy in the, I mean, I wouldn't say dark energy, but you got the dark room. It's the lighting in there. It reminds you, and Gil said it as well, it reminds you so much of that old timeliness of MMA. And you go into how it was to perform in that arena and to get to perform in that environment, and how you're possibly looking forward to get to make that same jump once again on December 14th. Because I mean, like how you stated, it's great to have that lineage and have that connection to recognize that, and being able to perform on a stage where you're able to put that up in the biggest platform, it must be pretty special.
Oh yeah, this like history. I was part of the inaugural event. No matter what anybody say, can't nobody take that away from me. I was on the inaugural event of the new age of just Bay Area mixed martial arts, and to have the privilege to fight on that card, it was just like a blessing come true. Because manifestation is a real thing. I always told myself, "You gonna fight in the arena, you ain't gotta worry about that." And you know, with the talent and the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears, I went out there and performed to the best of my abilities, which I continue to do December 14th. You know, I like to use the phrase, just because you don't see it don't mean it ain't happening. So, I'm ready for anything. I've been ready. And that's how I feel about it.
Is there anybody that you're possibly looking at to have a projected matchup with? I know that you've been someone that's liked to stay in that lightweight region, and possibly, kind of making your realm into the 160 and nearing the welterweight. I know that jump from 155 to 170 is a little bit heavier, obviously. But what has there been any exploration on possibly moving down a weight class, or moving around a little bit, especially now that you're still in your amateur career and still trying to figure things out?
I'm a lightweight. I think we're gonna keep it there, and I don't know, man. I don't know about. I don't care. I don't care about like really like I'm still in the amateur scene. So whoever they put in front of me, I see it as experience. It is what it is. Whatever gonna happen on that night gonna happen regardless. You know.
Yeah, the other
So
guy across from you could be weighing 200 pounds for all you care in your eyes, right?
exactly, it's just like I'm not gonna be out here just please give me this guy. Oh my God, this guy right here. I want, but I do want to take the fights that's meant for me and, put on a good fight. That's what we come for. As a fan, that's what y'all want to see. Y'all want to see scrapping. So December 14th, that's what I expect to do, and I'm gonna be in there, a warrior, a gladiator, on the stage that represents what I believe in a sense. So it's like they do it right. They do it right for fighters.
You're going to be able to be on that stage not only with yourself and with your other Skrap Pack teammates, but like how Guild made the announcement yesterday, Antonio Vasquez is going to be making his professional debut. You got Kyle Clark as well on the card making his professional debut. What does it mean for you to have those teammates alongside you on that card, making their professional debuts and possibly going into a scene that you're looking to embark to as well in terms of the professional mixed martial arts world?
Antonio, dog. Kyle, dog. You know, we we just building up. We just working. We just working. And I think if you ain't, this is your test to show that you meant to be there. And I have no doubt in my mind that when all of us make the jump and do what we need to do, we gon' we gonna rise up to the occasion. Work outbeat everything. So, when you have that mindset and confidence and just work ethic and no quit, then you're unstoppable. And you gotta believe it. Especially in this game, you gotta believe it when nobody else do. So I ain't got no just dogs. Dogs.
And living up to that testament of being a dog. And I mean, he's just kind of been a true. I know you've had the guidings of Nate Diaz and of course the rest of the Skrap Pack members to be able to go through and kind of show you guys the ropes of how it is to get into that UFC scene, how it is to build your name and to build your brand. But now you got Hyder Emil over there, who's, I know he's alongside kind of very close friends with Raul Rosas, but he has built himself up in a brand that's separated from himself from Raul and just kind of really built himself in his own right and has truly built his own kind of hurricane brand and just his own sensation. What if you had to think about Hyder Emil's career as being someone that's been in the room within and, like how you said, been training a lot with Mr. Hurricane Hyder Emil?
Gee whiz. Hyder, man, proud of my dog. He been working hard and he been showing people, what it means to like be a true mixed martial artist, to be a true ninja. And I think that he where he belong. He's meant for the big show. He's had countless battles and he's fought through adversity and he's a warrior. Especially we look at it, at least for me, as one of the young guys coming up, you got to have that camaraderie, especially with the dude that's the guy. And I'm happy for Hyder. He's in the place where he needs to be. And training with him, I've trained with him since I came in. And, I think it speaks bounds because you need that push. You need to have somebody who's like levels. There's levels to this game, and you need to have that. And Hyder's helped me with pretty much all of my camps. He's a true guy at heart, and yeah, he a warrior, and you can't do nothing but respect it. Still undefeated, more
You know, when
coming.
that he definitely is, and much like yourself, a lot of you gentlemen and a lot of you, just overall, the Skrap Pack has always been must-watch TV. A new era of that being in season now with Skyshun Jones, Hyder Emil, Antonio Vasquez, so many great fighters coming over there out of the Skrap Pack. But Mr. Skyshun Jones, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about in this call? I know that you have had a lot of people that have been in support of your MMA career, especially in the lead up to your last matchup on May 18th, 2024. Didn't get the opportunity to quite say it in front of everybody in front of the TechCU arena, but has there been anybody in particular that has really been adding to this MMA journey and has really been helping support you now that you are getting, now that you're getting a little bit deeper into this thing?
I want to shout out everybody. Um, just Gil, Carey, giving the guys the opportunity. They the runners, front runners of this. So just giving us the ability to like train and just, you gotta take that into account. But just everybody, my boxing coach, my coach, Coach Hiro, Coach Escobar, my Muay Thai coaches, Coach BB, Coach An, Jiu-Jitsu coach, just everybody really, even the ones outside of it, like shout out to my boy Jordan, um, Albert, shout out Albert, best hands in the business. Um, there's just a lot of people, and I just want to say thank you to all of them. And the love, you see the love, especially when people can tell that you're authentic. I think authentic love is better than some fabricated love. So you know everybody is good. You in support, and this the Bay Area, so it's an army, and it's just gonna keep growing, keep getting bigger. We trying to do big things out here, even bring it to the Chase Center one day. So you
That
know
would that would be absolutely insane. And it's still a shocker to me that the UFC has not done a show at the Chase Center. Am I right? I feel like that's something that's waiting to happen. Chase Center, it's right there on the Bay Line. I know San Francisco has its problems, but come on, man. Like that's such an opportunity right there that they're missing out on. And you got Hyder Mill, UFC Fight Night, like come on. What are they thinking?
yeah, it's craziness. The
Craziness,
UFC,
man.
I don't know. They need to do it. It's a big market. But can't ever. You don't know what Dana. I don't know what Dana thinking. But Noche was beautiful though. I love Noche. It was a good event to highlight a culture, and I love the presentation. Like that was 101, and I respected that. But yeah, you gotta show the Bay Area some love. There's too much history out here not to show love. And you got the Chase Center, man. It's all good. Give me Patty Pimblett. I'm all good.
And I think even too, like, I mean, the fact that we have only hit Anaheim in 2024 in California is just remarkable to me. Especially, like, besides, like, let's take away the Bay Area, and I know that's a crazy thing to say. You still have Sacramento, which is, I mean, obviously Team Alpha Male hub over there, but so the fact that there's no shows in Northern California, it's sickening. It's crazy to me, that especially with like how you said the MMA roots that are on over there, and now a lot of you guys are now making this jump. It's crazy that the UFC has not made that trajectory. But is there a possibility that we would ever get to see Mr. Skyshun Jones making his way over there to the UFC? And if that was the chance, and if that was the possibility, where would you possibly want to make that debut? I know that a lot of guys, they say, hey, I don't care, throw me in the Apex, throw me in whatever, but it must be pretty special if you had the chance to be able to pick where you were going to be able to fight for that first time.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt if I stay on the track and keep doing what I've been doing, keep producing the work that I've been producing, then I have no doubt I'm being the UFC. Yeah, I mean, that would be like a homecoming. Just everybody pop out. That would be a fun fight for the Bay Area. Just like to experience that, bring the UFC home, bring the big show home, and go out here and have a memorable fight for everybody. Hyder in the race right now. They need to do that right now for Hyde, and because he represented the Bay Area. Not a lot, people come out here, hit a 38 punch combination real quick, and then bounce out.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of guys that are doing that, so that's definitely where I think we need to give a little highlight to him, and maybe throw Raul on that card as well. I mean, that was someone that was over there in the Northern California area as well for a long time, training with NorCal Fight Alliance. David Terrell, obviously huge friend of the Skrap Pack team over there. So I just feel like it's only right to be able to make that return, and possibly, I know you call yourself the limit, but no limits on Mr. Skyshun Jones' approach and dreams as he looks forward into his MMA career. Skyshun, any last comments that you want to close off the call with here today?
Yeah, make sure to tune in December 14th. Text you Arena, San Jose. Appreciate everybody for the support, and thank you, Michael, for having me on the show. And yeah, it's time to get back to work.
Appreciative of your time, my brother. Michael Hernandez, MLH Media, over here for MLH Media Uncensored, and we're going to be signing off with the Limit 510, Mr. Skyshun Jones, over there out of the Bay Area, California.